let's turn instead to the government's legislative plans for the year ahead. As people have become more prosperous, naturally they're looking for an even higher quality of life. They're looking for increased choice and improved services, and they're looking for measures to enlarge their personal liberty. The gracious speech contains a full programme of some 15 major bills which addresses precisely these issues. Several of these bills stem from scientific advance, Mr. Speaker, which we are harnessing for the well-being of the nation. Care for the environment has moved to the centre of people's concerns for the quality of life. Science has told us it's imperative to protect the global environment, and this government has taken the lead in recognising that concern and acting on that advice. This session we shall bring forward a new Environment Protection Bill. Traditionally, control of pollution and toxic waste has been handled piecemeal, that is, separately in relation to discharges to land or to air or to water. In future, pollution will be controlled in relation to the environment as a whole in a new system known as integrated pollution control. And I believe that the new system will be copied around the world in years to come. Now, we're also making provision for a better local environment. That means clean streets and tidy parks. For those selfish people who litter our streets, the maximum fine will go up to £1,000, more than double the present fine. And I hope magistrates will make full use of these powers. The bill will also place a new legal duty on local authorities to keep streets and public places clean, and if they fail to do so, individuals will be able to take their counsel to court. I'm sure that the purpose of this bill will be welcomed in all parts of the House. Is the Honourable Lady wishing to interrupt on the environment?
Mrs. Margaret Ewing.
Mr. Speaker, I'm most grateful to the Prime Minister for giving way, but when she is talking about the control of pollution, could she also give reference to what the government's plans are for the disposal of low and medium-level nuclear waste, particularly since it looks as if the people of Caithness are going to have this wished upon them, irrespective of their democratically expressed views?
Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Lady knows that all the technology for the disposal of nuclear waste is known, and it is a place of saying where the disposal should take place. At the moment, most of it is at Sellafield, and she knows that we are also looking at other places as well. The Food Safety Bill will also enhance the quality of life. Our laws must keep pace with the revolution that's taking place in the way food is produced, stored and prepared. The new bill will mean that everyone who supplies food to consumers has to take proper care, the due diligence test, to ensure that it's safe. The bill will improve our powers to respond quickly to unexpected problems. And perhaps one of the most controversial bills, though not along party political lines, is what has come to be known as the Warnock Bill, following the report of the committee chaired by Baroness Warnock. It responds to scientific advance in the treatment of infertility. The bill will establish a statutory licensing authority to ensure that treatments such as in vitro fertilization take place in reputable centres and under proper safeguards, and it will forbid research developments such as cloning and the creation of hybrids. Mr. Speaker, inevitably, the question of embryo research arouses strong feelings. Some people attach importance to research which can help increase our knowledge of hereditary diseases such as cystic fibrosis and muscular dystrophy. Others believe strongly that there should be no further embryo research. These are matters of personal conviction on which there will, of course, be a free vote of the House.
Whilst many of us in the Chamber will be delighted at this news that the Government has announced today, nevertheless, doesn't the Prime Minister accept that in diseases such as cystic fibrosis and muscular dystrophy, experiments up until the 14th day would make no difference anyway, because the limb buds and the muscles and those other parts of the body which would need to be developed aren't in place by 14 days gestation?
The honourable gentleman is arguing a point which will come up during the course of the bill, in which I hope that people will ask the research scientists their views, and I hope they'll get a clear opinion on these matters. But in the end, it will be a case of personal conviction and conscience, and of course, my point here is we may hold different views, but there'll be a free vote of the House, which will, together with what happens in the other place, will decide the matter. Mr. Speaker, the second theme of the legislative programme is greater choice and better service to the individual. It's particularly important in our public services. The National Health Service Bill, of which the Right Honourable Gentleman had something to say, it will implement the reforms which will ensure that the resources and talent devoted to the National Health Service are used to give patients an even better service and the widest possible choice. Those I will give way before I leave this subject. Those hospitals which give the best service to the greatest number of patients will receive more resources. That seems to be absolutely right. And those GPs who believe they can give better value to the patient by holding their own budget will be able to do so. Together with the improved GP services we have introduced, these changes should mean that patients can get an operation more quickly, that hospitals will have a reliable appointment system for outpatients, that more children are vaccinated against disease, and that there are more regular checkups on people's health. The bill will also implement the proposals in our white paper on community care.